Hi guys, I guess I'm talking to the podcast folk and the YouTube/Facebook folk. Welcome. We are in fact recording this episode, podcast folk. I'm going to do that again because I fucked it up so much. Okay. Hi guys. Why can't I do this today?
I'm definitely leaving this in.
All of this is so hard. Okay, you ready? I'm going to do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Wait, 1 second.
Click. Clap, click, clap, click. Okay. Hi, you guys. Welcome to Concerning Geeks live, I guess you'd call this. To the podcast folk. It's live-ish.
Really.
It's live-ish.
We just got visual. It's not really live.
It's fine. Welcome from the past. To the people who listen to this on the podcast, we are in fact filming this. To the people that are watching us, you can listen to this on your commute.
We'll probably be releasing the visual stuff on YouTube, potentially on Facebook.
If you want to see our pretty faces, go to YouTube.
For some, I don't know, I might put it on Daily Motion.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Just
MySpace.
Yeah, let's go MySpace.
Okay, so we are fresh out of watching Patriots Day.
The Peter Berg directed, Mark Wahlberg fronted film, much like both of their last films.
Deepwater Horizon.
Which we both saw and both thoroughly enjoyed.
Amazing. That's what introduced me to an actual actor called Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, fair.
If Mark Wahlberg...
Did you just see underwear model Mark
Wahlberg?
Yeah.
No, I saw Transformers Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. See, if Mark Wahlberg's continue... Right, do you know what? Peter Berg should adopt Mark Wahlberg. Guys, you need to someone get it out to Marky Mark. This is the film. These sort of films are the films that are going to start making him a serious actor. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Ted. Ted 2 we don't talk about. Ted was a perfectly serviceable film.
I didn't think Ted 2 was too bad.
It was average.
It wasn't great, but it didn't live up to...
But Mark Wahlberg, for the second time, hit a home run with me with this film.
Yeah.
Man, there were pieces, where because usually I hate it when I start thinking about the mechanical aspects of a film, when you break the fourth wall in your head, you're just it happened in this film. Mark Wahlberg, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. It is about the Boston Marathon, so I suppose spoilers is a bit of a weird term to use.
If you, unless you're 12, the chances are you remember seeing the Boston Marathon bombings. So it's 2013, so
14?
13.
13? We've just seen that.
I'm pretty sure 13.
But no, Mark Wahlberg is sitting there giving this really heartfelt speech, and in my head I remembered the bad acting of Mark Wahlberg, and I was like, this isn't bad acting. This is making me believe. And that thought lasted maybe 5-6 seconds, and then was gone, and I was back into that film. Well, I don't know about you, Dave, but I am emotionally distraught.
Yes, it's a very emotionally powerful film, which again was I didn't expect it to hit me as hard as it did, just like Deepwater Horizon did, because that was I was going into it, I was like, oh, it's an oil disaster film about BP, and it really was just it just got to me.
Don't know what it is about Peter Berg. I'm literally going to spend probably the next week now trying to study Peter Berg's filmmaking style.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Because there's something that he does. I know this is such a what's the word? A basic thing to say, but he captures something on screen that isn't just visual, it's visceral.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There is something. There's not just visual images being communicated through that film. It's insane.
You see them rather than just characters on a film. You see them as real human beings, and that's what makes you empathise with them so much better. And although I would be really interested to see the last time that Peter Berg did a film that wasn't based on a true life event, because for me that's one of the things. So there's always that little thing in the back of my mind when I'm watching his films, where I'm like, this actually happened. It may not have happened exactly in the way being portrayed, but the general consensus was that it happened that way. So it's just
definitely worth something. Yeah, checking out his back catalogue.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I mean, so we follow Mark Wahlberg. He is essentially the main character. We bounce around.
I believe that the character he plays didn't actually exist, and he's more an amalgamation of a series of characters. Okay. Which, I mean, obviously makes a lot of sense from a storytelling perspective that you have one central character.
I did wonder why he wasn't referenced at the end.
Yeah, no, that was why. I think it was because they kind of
They just
stuck a bunch
needed
of
a
them together
device.
to have one person the entire way through, rather than switching to a completely different protagonist 4 or 5 times. But,
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
I think it was a perfectly serviceable plot device.
yeah.
But
I'm always a little bit wary of based on a true story films ever since I watched Argo. Because don't get me wrong, I very much enjoyed Argo. I think it was one of, if not Ben Affleck's best directed film.
Academy Award? Was it an Academy Award he won?
Not quite for me, but
Yeah.
I'm not annoyed about it. I'm not annoyed in the way that I am that Suicide Squad won an Oscar. Fuck Suicide Squad.
We're gonna be releasing a very short drop on our opinion on the Oscars.
Yes.
Because it was
controversial.
Absolute piss take. Anyway, we'll check out the review for that one, which we might even drop at the same time.
Yeah, probably.
depending on time.
Yeah, but with Argo, I very much enjoyed it as a film, but I actually did some looking into it after I saw the film, and I very quickly ascertained that it didn't go down the way that it was portrayed.
Nope.
I felt the film downplayed, or people have actually said that the film downplayed the roles of the Canadian embassy massively, but also the British embassy. Like, it wasn't just the CIA come to the rescue. It was very much...
there were certain liberties taken with the
exactly.
film, not necessarily for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait a little while until we find out if that happened with this one.
Fair
In fact, a lot of our listeners are American. Maybe we've even got some Boston Strong listening, which would be like absolutely amazing. We'll touch on the actual community spirit of Boston in a moment. But if you guys do or have in fact seen the film, well, let's get out of the way. I think we definitely urge everyone to go see this film.
Yeah.
Just go see this film.
As long as you're in the right state of mind. If you're having a bit of a shit day, it's not going to take you out of that. It's probably going to...
The day that we went to see this film, which is in fact today, I had an argument with my girlfriend, my pregnant girlfriend. We had a bit of a Barney, and
just so you know, Barney's rhyming slang, in case you didn't get that. Whether you
Barney Rubble Trouble. I thought everyone knew that. No. Okay. So we had a bit of an argument over something completely stupid, as it always is. She left for work, and like I didn't really care. That makes me sound like a horrible human being. We have a very loving and supportive and strong relationship. I just like to point out there, like we did move up to the other end of the country with each other. Anyway, enough about my relationship. Then I saw this film, and like the guilt. The guilt just like really hit me hard, and like I needed to come out of that film and find her and apologise and tell her that I love her. Like, true story. Based on a true story. But yeah, no, I think everybody should see this film.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
And also just having... These are the kind of films I think that people should be supporting, as in, if you're going to go to the cinema and pay money, you're going to put money into the film industry. It should be for... I know it's not an original property, but this was definitely a film that took a chance, taking not only a real-life event, but a recent real-life event that could very well have drawn criticism from whether it's the portrayal of the perpetrators, the portrayal of the victims, but
you're
just
playing
anything.
He was playing this very, very fine line of where you could, like you say, you could have potentially glorified. Is that word? Glorified. Thank you. He could have potentially glorified the terrorist actions. Yeah. I mean, or look at that film through a different lens, man. Look at that film through a different lens, and you'll see the glory of the extremists. Yeah. You know, it's very dangerous, man. Luckily, for me, in a way, this film didn't do that. No. Like, I think we've been... I don't want to use the word lucky, because that's definitely not the right word. But we've been privileged to a degree of watching propaganda videos because of the industry...
Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah. We've had
counter-terrorism
training, I guess. It's stuff to look out for, how to deal with situations to an extent.
Yeah, so we watched some propaganda videos.
From... Islamic extremist groups. That was the main focus of it, which I didn't fully sit right with me.
It's strange, isn't it?
It was very
weird.
Islamophobic in general. But I mean, people have argued that is the current.
I would say
climate.
that Islamophobia is a bigger problem than terrorism. Yeah. I'd be very interested to find out the figures of people that die from Islamophobia and people that die through terrorism.
I would agree with you, but I'd say in the Western world.
Yes.
Because obviously you've got to think about...
Of course.
There's so many acts of terrorism that we don't hear about because mainstream media doesn't like reporting on a daily basis about atrocities happening, whether it's in Africa or Asia or.
I think that terrorism is a very deep subject, and if we travel down this road, we could be recording for several hours.
But I do think that Peter Berg did a fantastic job of treading that line, not portraying stuff generally as. He reported taking it as few liberties as possible to make a more cohesive story. Than just made it fly.
I thought. Yeah, overall, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic film. I think that everything was portrayed as true as it could have been.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to the Boston Spirit.
Yeah. Man,
that's strong. Yeah. Like, if anything comes through that film, it's like I want to you can't watch this film and not believe in patriotism.
Yeah, well,
I have a quote I was going to say.
Patriotism, but more unity,
humanity,
like a community spirit kind of thing. Yeah. Because this wasn't like an entire nation rallying together. It was more of a city, so it's like the city's identity.
Boston.
Yeah, so
Boston is strong. Yeah. Like that's man. Like that's what I say. Would you think that? Do you think that's got more to do with humanity, or do you think that's got to do with the like? Because let's not play down the fact that it was Boston that this happened to. And it was Boston that came together to, I mean, essentially just defeat terrorism. There's a part in it, in fact, Mark Wahlberg says near the end that, no, it wasn't Mark Wahlberg, it was that lady, the doctor, the nurse, where she says that these guys took, it's all coming together in my head, everything that everyone said. I can't remember exactly who said it now. But basically, these two men had spent months planning on how to.
That was the real life. Yeah. The real interview. So the
film
ends
real interviews
with some of the victims and people involved in it had like real life interviews.
These two men had spent months working out how to deliver this death, basically death and destruction. Months planning this.
Yeah.
And in seconds, love trumped it because people were running towards the blast to help out. That for me, like, I think that sums up the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I think that sums up like.
So we've spoken a lot of positives at the moment.
Yes.
Do you have any criticisms? Even minor details, just things that.
It's quite raw at the moment, so like I can't say anything bad about it because it is quite raw and I really did enjoy it. Fair. I'm not going to say anything that I didn't. However,
if I could offer something. Oh, I see. Sorry.
As I said, one point, and then I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to go in this film and come out not liking it.
Right.
Because I wanted to go into it and say people are only liking this because of the subject matter. People feel that they can't say it was a terrible film because it was about the Boston bombings. Yeah. Like, so I went into that film in the most cynical mood. Like, insanely cynical, thinking, like, very much like kind of Moonlight was Oscar bait. I thought this is going to be the same thing.
I think you'd been in even more of a cynical mood if you'd gone to see Moonlight.
Yeah, again.
There was a choice about what we were going to see and review, and Mark won.
Yeah.
So we went to see Patriots. But no, it was definitely worth watching. In terms of giving an interesting and thought-provoking debate, arguably Moonlight would have made a better thing to review.
Yeah, but we'll watch it. We'll watch Moonlight. We'll watch because it won a poxy sellout Oscars. Hashtag sellouts. Sorry. So, was there anything that you could think of that sort of slightly?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is the pacing around the middle did drag a little bit for me.
What do you count as the middle?
So after the explosions, there was just a point where everything kind of ground down. I think it was around the time when when they were arguing over jurisdiction. So when Kevin Bacon's character, the FBI agent, comes in, I did feel. I think it was around that point. But the thing, I think that it serviced the story. So I might have been a little bit like.
Maybe that's the point, though, isn't it? Maybe that's the point of like it's that frustration of you want to go forward,
send out everyone, search every henhouse, doghouse, outhouse.
When it doesn't work like actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I think we forgot to mention the supporting cast in this.
Oh, J.K.
And by
Simmons.
supporting cast,
I love J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, man, like Kevin Bacon, John Goodman, who looks very old.
I was going to say, but he's lost quite a lot of weight, hasn't he?
Yes.
So
do you reckon that's why his face looks a bit strange?
Yeah, I think it looks a bit gone.
I don't know how to say that.
Like, yeah.
In my head, I was just like, it's just makeup. John Goodman's fine. John Goodman's never going to die.
I think I saw an interview with him recently. I think he lost a fair bit of weight before the film and then after. So now he looks comparatively comparatively thin to how he used to look.
Really like John Goodman. There's something about him.
I think I just associate him with Monsters Inc. now because he did the voice for Scully, didn't he? Is it
Sully?
Sully, sorry,
Yeah.
Sully.
He was in The Borrowers. That's what I always associate him with.
I haven't seen it.
You ever seen The Borrowers? Let's go watch the book. Let's do a review of The Borrowers.
It's like the little people that lived in the ground.
Yeah.
Sorry, the floorboards.
They live in the floorboards and they borrow
I
things.
used to get them confused with Little Women.
Yep.
It's like tiny people.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Not-
there
not-
are Little
not the
Women
same.
in The Borrowers.
Yeah, but yeah.
No, not the same. Not quite the same.
Anyway,
So
and
yeah,
then
so
also there's that the last from House of Cards, which I'm sure
I haven't seen it. I've seen
the
the first half of the first episode.
right. Okay. You know the
Then I
woman
walked away.
the nurse.
Yes.
She was in
Okay.
House of Cards. Her and her husband. Yeah, husband.
Husband.
In it.
Yeah.
The two people.
PB&J.
Yeah, PB&J. They did a really good job. That's the thing. I think if you had a glaringly obvious bad actor, especially, it would have just kind of killed that kind of emotional progression through because it focuses on quite a few characters and how
they get affected.
how the events affected it because it's not just like these are four people and this is them in the explosion. There's people who weren't actually affected until down, like midway through the film, but you still got to know them beforehand, so you're still more emotionally invested.
Like all that time, the time invested didn't feel wasted.
Exactly, and that's the thing. When you watch at the beginning, I was going to say that I felt that the beginning dragged a little bit for me, but there was a payoff later on. It wasn't.
That's a very good
point.
point.
Wasn't just like an instant. Oh yeah, this is why I'm seeing this person. Like you just have to wait a little bit longer.
I enjoyed the fact that like with a lot of characters, like I always get this, like with secondary characters, sport characters, I always get what I like to call the casualty feeling. Okay. Which is like when you start watching Casualty and you're like, well, that guy's going to die.
Casualty?
You've never watched Casualty?
No.
Oh my God, right. So basically, Casualty starts off with some guy up a ladder, like going, this ladder I've just got out the garage is safe.
So it's like House.
I'm going to change this light bulb. Wait, let me wash my hands first. So you're like, oh, he's going to fucking die. Wonder who's in this episode. So like,
this is a quick aside. That's why I love House because when they got to like season 6, it became obvious. So they'd always do like a bait and switch. So there'd be a guy and he'd like go, "Ooh, look like he's about to collapse," and then someone fucking way off in the distance would just like collapse. Yeah. You're like, "Oh wait, it's not that guy. What's happening?"
Love House, man. My issue with House is that the House it got so formulaic.
Yeah, have you ever seen the thing where it's just like showing what each character is going to say in really generic terms? Where it's like the Australian dude comes through and goes,
Chase.
"Let's give him the medicine." It's like, yeah, let's do that. And then
is that on an episode of House? I'm pretty sure that Hugh Laurie, like as House, comes in and he goes, "Wait, you want to give him this? You want to give him this? You
Probably.
It's like that. That's the only reason the House is good is because of Hugh Laurie. Like he just makes that. It's perfect. But yeah, it just becomes so formulaic, man. I'm just like, it's lupus. I'm like, I don't care. It's never lupus. You say this all the time. It's autoimmune.
Lupus is autoimmune, technically.
Yeah, if it's not lupus, it's autoimmune.
But never mind. Anyway, there's actually an interview I watched with Hugh Laurie once, and they're like, "Do you know any medical stuff?" And he's like, "I know about the disease that's occurring in that episode, and then I can remember it for about 4 days afterwards, and then it's just gone." So if someone were to collapse in front of me with that issue, I'd be fine
within the 4 days.
Within those 4 days, but then otherwise no.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, I don't know how. This is the first time we've done an episode that's just like on a film. So we're seeing Logan on Wednesday. So we'll do the same thing with Logan.
Hopefully, with that, I'll be able to get that uploaded. Hopefully, the night that we see it.
That'd be cool.
If I can really get my shit together.
But I don't really know how do you want to wrap it up?
I'll just sort of another quick anecdote because I quite like anecdotes. You know the phrase "get your ducks in order."
Right.
You not come across that.
Yes.
You know it.
Just don't know where you're going with this.
It turns out that in America they say "get your guns in order." Is that not the most American thing you've ever heard?
Guns in order. I need to get my gun.
Just like shotgun, hunting rifles. What fucking order do you need? Like,
no, I don't think it means.
No.
Get your guns in order, as in like shotgun to rifle. It's like get your guns in. No. Get your guns in order so they're in firing order. They're ready to fire.
So what the
They're
fuck
ready
does
to
get your ducks in order mean then?
I'm assuming that it's get your ducks in order as in, you know, when you're at a shooting range. So you get your ducks in order. So as soon as they're like in the line,
What fucking shooting range are you going to?
you've never been to a shooting range?
Yeah,
Like a circus or
those
a
guys.
fun
So I thought
fair.
like an actual shooting range.
No. Too much.
I'm actually gonna look into this. And
Look into it.
I'll just
Tune into the Logan review to find out if Dave ever finds out what get your ducks in order means. We should do an episode on
I
stuff
do not
like
have
that.
enough free time for this. It's not gonna happen.
The real McCoy. Yeah, the real McCoy. It's the real McCoy. Means the real deal.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's on the crisps.
Yeah, comes from cattle rustling in the Old West, and there was a guy called McCoy, and he was he became known as giving the best deals, and he would sort disputes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it became known as, well, this is the real McCoy.
Yeah.
There you go. The more you know. He was also from Boston. That's not true, but what an amazing tie-in that would be. Okay, so
it seems like our tangents have no bearing on anything.
No,
it all comes back.
It all comes back together. Okay, so should we do a star system? Should we do it out of 4 like our reviews? Should we do an out of 4, like 1 out of 4?
Oh, you mean like our staff reviews?
Yeah, like a staff review out of 4.
Yeah, so we had to evaluate ourselves at work the other day, and instead of being like between
1 and 5 or
0,
1 and
0,
10,
you can. Oh yeah, so between 1 and 5, it was between 1 and 4, which is really weird because I'm middle of the ground for everything. I couldn't put
2.5.
Yeah, I probably should have put 2.5.
it just sticks in my mind as just such a strange rating system.
So if we're gonna do it out of 4, can we do like and a half or point? Like, can we do decimal points?
No, let's not do it. Can we just not do it out of 4 because it will irritate me?
Yeah, please.
Let's do so. What about 0 out of 5 geeks?
Oh.
Chickens. A geek means to bite a head off a chicken, so we'll call it 3 chicken heads.
Is that what geek means?
Yeah, did you not know that? That's what geek means. It's a strongman that bites heads off chickens.
How the fuck did it go from strongman to people who love Star Wars?
Mm-mm.
Oh. That's not a dig at people who love Star Wars, because I love Star Wars.
It's also not strongman as well. It's just people that bite heads off. I don't want to say strongman.
Okay,
it's just people that bite heads off chickens.
Out of 5 chickens, I'm gonna...
Chicken heads.
Chicken heads.
It's got to be chicken heads. It's got to be bloody, dismembered chicken heads.
Christ, I'm going to have to animate fucking chicken heads now. Yep, okay, so I'm going to give it a 4.5 chicken heads.
Why not 5? Because nobody's perfect.
Yeah, to me, it's not a flawless film. I very much enjoyed it. I don't
think you'll ever get a flawless film. I don't think there's such thing as a flawless film. It's like there's never a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I can't bring myself to give it a 5 out of 5.
I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5. I'll give it 4.5.
Yeah.
I'll give it... Well, we can't do halves.
Why not?
Because you can't do a half.
You
can't have half.
You can have half a chicken head.
You can't have half a chicken
head.
You
100% don't send us any half a chicken head.
That'd be weird. I'm up for that, though.
I'm not.
Send it to Dave's address.
No.
All right, okay, I'd agree with that. 4.5 chicken heads.
Okay, so where does it lose the...
Where does it lose the half point for me?
Yeah.
Loses the half point for me because I was emotionally drained.
That's not right. That's the purpose of the film.
No,
so for instance, so when you watch Silence, that left me and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Ugh. But that was because it emotionally, not manipulated, but it took you on that emotional ride.
It had this bounce back feeling for me where I was like really like so hardcore into everyone uniting under the flag of humanity. But then it bounced back to that's never going to happen. It'll happen on those instances, and that's...
Oh, but it's never going to be the norm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when the extreme happens, our reset action is to help and to love and to throw down all boundaries, and I love that about humanity. Like, I'm such a hippie. I'm such a left-wing hippie. I don't care. Like, I want there to be a day when we can just set aside all stuff like this, and it sounds very like...
Do you mean like a day every year, or do you mean there just reaches
a day, as in a day,
where...
like as in the dawn of the new revolution where we burn the English flag and the American flag and the Saudi flag and the Russian flag, and we just unite under the same flag of humanity, like, or Earth, if you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like
That's why we need aliens.
That's why we need aliens, so we can all band together and kill the aliens.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Common enemy.
Independence Day, man.
Actually, speaking of which,
that's what I want.
That kind of reminds me. Just a little tip: go watch The Expanse. It's on Netflix in the UK.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Or just watch Independence Day.
No, it's better than Independence Day. I can't stand Roland Emmerich anymore.
Independence Day is such a good film.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I don't want to.
Apparently it's awful.
That's why I don't want to watch it. I want to stick with the original, like, because there's an amazing speech in it that I won't spoil, but like, there's an amazing speech given by the president. It's fantastic. But yeah, man, that's my issue, man. Like, I want it to be, like, I believe in humanity, because when things like this do happen, the Paris attacks, 9/11,
7/7,
7/7. I was trying to think of what it was. 7/7. Like, our immediate response. Immediate is love. Our immediate response is to band together and fight against this evil, because terrorism will always exist.
Yeah.
It will, and unless we get rid of every factor that causes an argument, which is never going to happen because we're passionate beings, terrorism will always exist in one form or another. But so will love.
Yeah.
Love trumps hate.
Fair enough.
And love trumps Trump.
So just to clarify, the reason you're not giving it that full thing is because human beings
are flawed.
Only, yeah. Fair enough. That's as good a way to end it, I guess.
Yeah. What about you? Why? Where's your point? Where's your half a chicken head?
I don't know.
Just didn't feel
I can't put my finger on it, but it's just not. It's not one issue that brings it down. It's just everything is 98%. The acting is 98%. Is that just because you're pessimistic? No, I've got it.
All right,
it loses half a thing because it doesn't put in enough J.K. Simmons.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. All right, fair enough. We'll wait for the extended
because that's the second time that I've been like, oh my god, J.K. Simmons is in a film, because the other one was La La Land, and he's literally in that film for like 2 minutes, and it's like,
where's J.K. La La Land is such a good film.
Yes.
So good.
I was speaking of Captain Fantastic, which is one of our favourite films. Did you see that it was... I didn't actually realise it was nominated until I looked at the winners.
I didn't notice it was nominated at all.
Viggo Mortensen for Best Actor in a lead role.
Okay.
Which I actually wholeheartedly agree with. I think he did a fantastic job.
He has got the best penis I saw in a film all year.
So the only penis you saw in a film all year?
It was the only penis I saw in a film all year.
Excluding porn.
Obviously, because that actually goes to Richard Hardbody, who was in Chit Chit Gang Bang, which was a personal favourite of mine. The acting was a bit shaky, but man, he
could we really this back on, please?
Yeah, sure. Watch the film.
Yeah, we definitely advise watching it.
Watch the film and pay it forward. Pay it forward, man. Go out there and do a favour for somebody. Doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, right, sure, yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's helping an old lady cross the road.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's like if you work in a store and you can give a cheeky 10% discount, or like, you know, like bag an extra 4 pints of milk without telling anyone.
Yeah.
However, when you do it, tell that person to do 2 extra favours for somebody else within the next 2 weeks. That's the way it works. And while you tell them that, tell them to tell the person that they help to pay it forward. If everybody does 2 good deeds in 2 weeks, man, this world will be a better place. Yeah. And those favours might seem small, but it might make the difference between someone walking through a park and seeing someone crying on a bench. And it might make the difference between them walking by that crying person and sitting down next to them and possibly saving a life. Yeah. Boom. How's that for heavy?
Might even meet the person you're destined to
spend
the rest of your life with. How amazing would that be?
You might hand your umbrella off to some guy that's sopping wet in his suit, and there is the start of a beautiful romance. Yeah. Boom. That's a good place to end.
Good way to end it.
That's a good place to end it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Pippin or Mark, whatever you want to call me.
I'm Dave.
You're Dave. And we will see you next time for Concerning Geeks. Thank you very much to all our brand new listeners. We appreciate it. Please tell all your friends.
Yep.
Please tell all your friends.
And if you have iTunes on a laptop, I found out that you apparently can't rate on iPhones.
Of course you can't.
Because that would just be too easy.
Apple, what are you doing?
But yeah, so if you have a laptop with iTunes on it, if you could drop us a rating or a review on our channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you could drop us a like, that also helps a massive amount. The more we grow, the more we can get onto suggested pages.
We have competition.
We now have a competition.
Finally.
This should, by the time this video goes up, the competition should be live on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Everything, man. So luckily, we work in a cinema. sort of luckily. We work in a cinema, so luckily as well. I wanted to go with that. So we get sent random stuff all the time. In this case in point, it is a life-size...
Oh, no, it's larger than life-size. We can't hold it up the right way, so we have to lie it on its side.
How tall are you?
6'1.5".
6'1.5", yeah? So the poster stands, bigger than you on its side, right?
I didn't check.
It's what about head height?
It's about no.
Like, as in on its side?
Oh, sorry, on its side. Yeah, no, it's a bit shorter than that.
Just a bit shorter than you, so let's say 5'8", 5'9"?
Shoulders-ish.
Anyway, my point is, it's a
Fucking
massive poster. It's huge, so we are giving it away.
Yep.
We're not even charging.
Yeah.
We should charge.
So the conditions for the competition are...
So it's nice and easy. You've played this game before, folks. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, like us on Instagram. Or in fact YouTube, subscribe and like. Basically, what I'm going to do, I think we're going to run this competition for around 2 weeks.
Yep.
So in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to sit down in front of Dave's laptop. I'm going to go through everybody's name. I don't know why I'm making this so much harder for myself, but I don't care. I'm going to get everybody's name from all of those social medias, and they're going to go in a hat. If you like us on every single platform we're on, your name will go into the hat that many times. So if you like us on all 4, then you'll get 4 names into the hat. Simple as that.
And if you subscribe to the Patreon, we'll put your name in like 5 times, even if you go for like the $1.
Yeah. You're getting like an extra 5. Yeah, why not?
Also, very quickly speaking of the Patreon, hopefully we should get the first skit uploaded very soon to that. We already do have the extended D&D session, which is episode 7. It starts on 7. Just go with it. It's explained.
It's fine. And we'll do a live drawing of it in 2 weeks. We're through the camera, and it'll be a name picked out of if I can find my purple bowler hat, it'll be the purple bowler hat, and then we'll announce the winner there.
Riddlers. It's green, isn't it?
No, I was at download. I saw a purple bowler hat. That's it. That's the story behind that.
I've got a grey fedora that I found at Leeds Fest. It's a common theme.
Just buy a hat. All right, guys. So again, thank you very much. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch us. Yeah. And man.